Welcome to South Florida Unlocked, where we go beyond the beaches and into the neighborhoods, giving you the information you need before making big decisions. I'm Stephan Bronson, your trusted real estate advisor in South Florida, and with me today I have a very special guest, Desiree Guel, who has been killing it thus far in her real estate career. She's going to be starting us off in the city of Coral Springs, and we're going to tell you everything you need to know about the city.
Thanks, Stephan, for that intro. I appreciate it. We're definitely unfiltered and unlocked today. Coral Springs is actually it's kind of a fun fact. There's no coral and there are no springs in Coral Springs. So it was actually built in the 60s by Coral Ridge Properties, and they have really strict aesthetic codes. So they didn't want any sort of big signs like the big yellow arches for McDonald's. They really wanted it to be uniform and clean.
Interesting.
So it's just a really beautiful town.
That's awesome. Yeah, I never noticed that now that you say it.
Yeah, right? I know. Crazy.
And we're fortunate enough to have our office directly in the center of Coral Springs.
Yeah.
So we're in the city every day.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about the lifestyle and just overall vibe of the city, since you are a Coral Springs resident?
I would say, first of all, I love Coral Springs. I've been a few places, and this is absolutely my favorite. It's very community driven, so there's like a real good hometown feel to it. The schools are wonderful. Broward County as a whole actually has A-rated schools. So the elementary schools are absolutely wonderful, and I'm very, very pleased with them. But it's family friendly. I mean, you have everything from neighborhoods filled with kids and young families and growing families to retirees. So you kind of have the best of both worlds. Turtle Run is my neighborhood. It's right off Wiles, and I love it. It's super peaceful, super quiet. That's probably my favorite thing about it. You are kind of seeing a little bit of a shift. When we first moved in about 5-6 years ago, there were a lot of the families that kind of raised their children and were older, and that shift is now starting to happen to where you're seeing the younger families come in. But still too, like the older retirees that are coming back and buying the bigger homes now because now their kids are grown and they have grandkids and they want the bigger house for the room. So it's kind of neat to see that there's two sides to it. But Turtle Run's a great community. The parks are absolutely incredible. We just had ours redone. I think through the city, they do like every 12 years or so, they start to redo the parks.
Okay.
So we hit like our 13th year, I think last year, and they started it. So it's great. And we have everything from volleyball to new soccer fields to a beautiful new park, to just space to sit and picnic.
That's
so
awesome.
I love it. Coral Springs is awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of great parks, and it honestly, Coral Springs just has a little bit of everything, I feel like.
Yeah, it
Right?
does.
And you've been living there how long now?
We've been there 5 years now. So, I mean, I feel like I know it really well. It's small, but it's big.
Sure.
It has that like small community feel, but it really is like it expands over, quite a bit. So
I totally get that.
Yeah. They have the rec
way.
center, which is great. There's just always something going on, a lot of great events. It's just a wonderful place for a family to raise your kids.
They have a killer fireworks show.
They
on 4th of July.
do. I know.
Yeah.
They have the casino. The casino's always a fun
it's right
place
there.
to go
It's not
to.
too
That's
far.
what's close by. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so let's get into a little bit of kind of the hidden gems that maybe somebody might not know about Coral Springs.
Sure.
I'll start off with some of the obvious. If you've ever been in Coral Springs, you know about the walk on University Drive.
I do.
I mean, I could eat out there probably every night.
I know.
Because there's so many different options. But it's a very popular spot, I would say. University Drive is essentially kind of I would say the downtown of Coral Springs. Would you agree?
Yeah, totally.
And so there's a lot of major attractions there. That's pretty much your main street. They've been constantly adding different retail to the walk. But some of your notable hot spots are going to be like, your Starbucks, that taco place right there, Talking Tacos is always busy. Then, you have pretty much everything you need there.
They do like a really cool Halloween event. where all like the local families come and they can actually trick or treat at like all the stores. They have like a little entertainment going on. It's really cute.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have the walk, right? That's obvious. You also have the Coral Springs Center for the Arts. They host a lot of Broadway style shows.
They do.
Gallery exhibitions and workshops, that sort of thing. And then you have the Coral Square Mall, right? If you go a little bit more south off University and Atlantic, you have the Coral Square Mall, which is, I would say it was a pretty busy mall about 15 years ago. And now not so much. I think more people are going over to Boca, to Town Center. But it's still a good spot to shop. I mean, especially if you want to avoid crowds and whatnot.
Absolutely. I was just going to say, if you like a smaller kind of mall and just like a easier kind of, feel to it, it's definitely the place to go. That's where I go.
Definitely. Yeah. Yep, I do as well. And then you have the Coral Springs Historic Covered Bridge. And this is something that I always forget about, but this bridge was actually built in 1964.
Okay.
So this I would consider a hidden gem.
Okay.
If you're a Coral Springs native, you probably have heard plenty about it.
Love
You've
this.
probably been there plenty of times.
Okay.
But for those of you that are interested in the city, maybe moving to Coral Springs, it's a really cool hidden gem. It's an bridge that was built in 1964. Basically, they designed it to mirror the future style of the city, and what they intended for the city to become was a city in the country. And so it's been really well maintained over time. It's over off of Wiles and 95th, I believe.
Okay.
But it's a really cool landmark. It's
love
the
that.
first thing that was ever built in Coral Springs.
That's cool. Gotta love the history.
Yep. And then you have, which you're probably familiar with because you have a son that plays hockey, right?
Oh, we live there.
Yeah. We have the Ice Den, or the what's called the Sportsplex, and they have jogging paths, tennis, pool, but they also have an indoor ice skating facility.
Yeah.
Where they actually do public ice skating sessions, but also the Florida Panthers. Do they practice there?
They used to. Now they have a brand new facility in Fort Lauderdale that they go to. So they are no longer there. But every now and then we'll see them because they have children, in hockey. So
yeah, and they have leagues and everything, right?
Yeah, they do. They have leagues at night.
That's cool.
Yeah, so
awesome.
It's my second home.
Yeah, they still call it the Ice Den.
Yep.
So that's a cool place to be. I'd say it makes a really good date night or some time with the family. You take some kids and
it
learn
does.
how to ice skate.
They do like Friday nights with music and skating, and they've got a bar restaurant upstairs where you can watch the games. So it's a really neat place.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then there's also several. I'm a coffee addict, so there's several different. You as well.
Oh yeah.
There's several different great coffee spots in Coral Springs. So there's Feffy's Cafe, if you've ever been there. It's got this quirky retro vibe. It kind of feels like you're stepping into somebody's living room.
Yeah.
And the owners are just fantastic. They're so nice. And there's also Ella Cafe, which is a go-to of mine. I take a lot of my business meetings at Ella Cafe, and it's really cool. When you order a latte, they give you this little heart-shaped cookie, which is right on brand. It's
cute.
Amazing marketing. And then if you're feeling like pizza, John the Baker is a good option. The Fish Joint for seafood. These are just go-tos for
a lot of like local like family businesses, which is really cool. Love to support that.
I agree. So yeah, let's get into the real estate insights now. With if someone was looking to move to Coral Springs, what can they expect, right?
Yeah.
So your typical housing styles, maybe are there HOA communities, non-HOA communities? What are some price points that we're looking at? So your typical housing style in Coral Springs, it's a good mix, but I would say it's majority dominated by single-family homes.
For sure.
Usually they're like 3 to 4 bedroom homes. Sometimes you'll find larger than that, but 3 to 4 bedrooms on average, with garages, perfect for families looking for space and comfort. You do have condominium and townhouse options, and as we go through some of the development in the city, you'll find that there's a large, I would say, apartment complex or condos technically that's being built, beautiful and modern.
Yeah.
But the taxes in Coral Springs, they're about 1.43%, which translates to about anywhere from $5,900 a year to $6,200 a year for a $520,000 home, which is right around the median price home in Coral Springs. So they offer solid value. There's moderate movement, long-term stability. It's a good place to live for sure.
It is.
And since you live there,
Yeah.
How about you tell us about some of the amenities, schools, lifestyle, that sort of thing?
We kind of touched on it earlier. A-rated schools, which, you can't really go wrong with. As far as amenities, you've got the rec center, which is great. We actually started off when my kids were young. We did like t-ball and soccer and basketball and all the fun little things that you can do, like the little classes and stuff, and it's just a great place to go to for family events. They do Christmas events and really all over the city. They're very family oriented. It's really all about community. So there's some great restaurants, and you've got like Amarant Arena, which like 25 minutes away. So you've got all these other places, Miami's downtown, concerts, Dolphin Stadium, and then you've got soccer at Chase. So like Coral Springs is very much like 20 minutes from anywhere. That's kind of how I feel.
Including the beach.
Including
you just
the
go
beach.
straight east.
So that's why we love it. I come from small towns. So to have, your Target right next door down the road, your Publix down the road, it's just it's very efficient, very easy to kind of get around and get your things done daily. There's some major employment centers, obviously Fort Lauderdale, Boca, Miami. So it's close. It's nearby the highways. You can get to them.
Yeah, you have the
easily.
Sawgrass right there, which is super convenient.
Yeah, low crime rate. So, it's just like I said earlier, it's a great place to live. It's a great place to raise a family.
That's awesome. Yeah, some of the new projects, I mentioned the Cornerstone Plaza. That's what the big project and the talk of the city is right now.
Yeah.
They're going to have everything from Taco Craft to Gary's Racks Farmhouse. I think they're opening 7 to 8 different restaurants there.
Yep.
But it's going to be a mixed-use development, which will include a full-service hotel, luxury rental apartments, shopping, and dining experiences. The apartments, I believe there's going to be like roughly 350 spacious apartments, anywhere between 1, 2, 3 bedroom options.
Yeah.
Downstairs is going to be all the dining. So if you ever kind of envision that New York lifestyle where you can just go downstairs and grab a cup of coffee and you live upstairs, it's kind of going to have that vibe.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
And then you also have the Coral Springs Museum of Art. That's going to be coming April 2026. At least that's what they're planning.
Right.
And it's going to be the art space in the downtown Cornerstone development. They're slated to hold their first expedition in April of 2026.
Amazing.
So exciting things to come. So what do you think that means for traffic? Do you think we're going to see a bump up there?
I think we already are seeing a bump. I travel sample all the time because I'm always going to the hockey rink. So I see it now. If we're being honest, it's definitely going to bump it up a bit.
Especially on University, I would think.
For sure. But they've opened everything. They've widened everything. So, there's more space. There's, they're doing their best there. Yeah.
And I heard a rumor, and I don't know if there's any truth to this, but maybe there are some schools that might be closing or changing school districts and stuff like that. Is there anything you know about that?
Yeah, I do, just because I'm so involved with the schools. So like right now they're kind of looking at different schools in the area, and they're trying to figure out which ones don't have enough students to where they could close it and just bring them to another school and then put that at capacity or close to capacity so that they can utilize it and, save.
Gotcha.
So it's nothing's written in stone yet, but it's definitely coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I anticipate with the increase in population with the new developments and whatnot, that might be a challenge that we see with the school system.
For sure.
But there's plenty of amazing schools that I think they're going to figure it out.
Yeah, they are. And actually here it's in Florida. I don't believe this is everywhere because I'm from New Jersey. So you have school choice. So that's one thing to kind of talk about when you move here and you have a family. You don't necessarily have to go to the school that you're zoned for. If there is room in any other school surrounding you, then you're capable of applying, and as long as there's room, you can go.
That's true. That's a great fact.
Yeah.
So overall, I mean, Coral Springs, it's a great place to be. Again, it has a little bit of everything. It blends that family-friendly charm, solid home values. There is some exciting new growth coming with the Cornerstone Marketplace. And then honestly, it's one of Broward County's most well-rounded place to call home.
Yeah. We love it.
Yeah. So what's your favorite part about living in Coral Springs?
Oh gosh, my favorite part.
I know you mentioned being kind of 20 minutes from everything.
Yes, I think that probably is my number one. And like I said, because I came from small towns, we would literally have to drive an hour just to go to a mall. So the fact that I can go, 9-10 minutes down the road and be at the mall, that's an incredible thing. And I think you kind of, you take that for granted a little bit.
That's true.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely that. And also the community feel. Like the community is incredible. No matter where you go, you run into someone you know. There's always just young families enjoying themselves, and it's not super, there's a lot of free events, which I love. I think that's an incredible asset to wherever you go, to be able to just, jump in the car and go enjoy a holiday party, and it's,
that's true.
Paid for.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're always looking for things to do like that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have kids, it's like you just need to get out of the house.
Turtle Run,
please let me find something to do.
Right. I know. And it gets hot here, so you're always looking for something to do, especially inside, which is why we're at the rink all the time.
Yes. So now we are wrapping up Coral Springs, and I hope you enjoyed this segment. I have a bonus for the listeners. What is some things that maybe something that a buyer would need to know after purchasing a home? Now, it doesn't have to be in Coral Springs, but it could be anywhere. I think we discussed something with property taxes.
Okay. You want me to go ahead and tell you what that is?
Yeah, tell me that. Tell me that bonus tip. Tell the
property
listeners.
Property taxes change, you guys. They change after you purchase a home. So the tax assessment resets based on the purchase price of the house, meaning your taxes could jump significantly, which is huge. And, that's when you're planning a monthly payment at a specific amount, and then all of a sudden you get your tax bill and it's been, reassessed and it's up by hundreds of dollars. That's a huge hit, for a new homeowner. So you have to be aware of that. A good solid agent will know that and will educate you on that so that you're not left in the dark and you have this big bill that you weren't expecting.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That is very important.
For
and
sure.
I feel like
it happens.
I hear stories from buyers all the time. Not my buyers, not your buyers, but buyers in general that just say, oh, my mortgage went up after the first year of home ownership. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
And then, they contact one of us and we explain it to them and they're like, oh, I wish I would have known that while shopping for a home.
It's so important to know who you're choosing to represent you when you're buying a home. Yeah,
Exactly.
for sure.